Welcome in, everyone. Happy Football Friday,
Yes.
presented by Angels Alive. Um, Getting down to it. We got teams left.
Yeah.
Got one game to recap from Monday, some news, and then we'll get into lengthy discussions on each of the games. So, So this game on Monday, man, this was just, I don't know. It was kind of out of nowhere. It was just like, boom. Rams 34-11, the last wild card game of the weekend. Yeah. I mean, the Rams just hit them early, hit them hard. And Kyler Murray looked like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah. I can't remember the outcomes of the two games during the regular season.
Split.
But I'm saying I don't remember the scores, so I don't think either one of them was this bad, though.
It was very close. The first one, the Cardinals, I think, beat them pretty good, but not as bad as this. The second one was a close one.
Yeah, so this one I wasn't expecting, like you said, not this big of a beatdown. Obviously, we all picked the Rams to win this game. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out why it was this bad. I don't even think DeAndre Hopkins would have really made that big of a difference.
Yeah, it was well documented. The records of having him this season and not having him, they were terrible without him. But yeah, I mean, I just think it was an inexperienced team, really. I mean, they faltered down the stretch last year too and missed the playoffs, and now they had a terrible end of the season as well this year. And
yeah, I heard a lot of people comparing them to, was it last year's Steelers team that was 11-0 or something, or was that a couple years ago?
Last year.
Yeah, and they just completely fell apart towards the end of the season. I've heard a lot of people comparing them to that team.
Yeah, and got destroyed by the Browns in the playoffs. Yeah, I think it was just inexperience. There were very few people on the Cardinals roster and coaching staff that had been in playoff games. You know, JJ Watt was one of them. I'm trying to think who else, really. AJ Green with the Bengals.
Yeah, but both of those guys, they have playoff experience, but not much because neither one of their teams really won that much, and especially in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, but still, it's, you know, they know how it is. They know what it takes to be there. And I mean, JJ Watt won. They won a few of them in Houston, a couple of them, anyways. So,
yeah. Speaking of playoff inexperience, though, Stafford is one of the most inexperienced quarterbacks left in this competition, and I mean, he had a pretty decent game.
Yeah, he finally got the monkey off his back. 0-3 in the postseason until this game, and luckily for him, I thought Sean McVay did a great job on offense calling the plays. He stuck to the running game. Cam Akers had a phenomenal night in his second game back, which I called. I told everyone, I was like, I hit that parlay on this game, 8-leg parlay, and Cam Akers over 29.5 rushing yards was 27.5 rushing yards. I was like, I know he's going to factor in, and unfortunately he didn't score for my live bet that I made, but it was nice to see that hit there. So
yeah, I mean, my big parlay hit too in this one. I was very happy with Connor and Kupp both scoring.
Yeah, it was getting bleak there for Connor.
Yeah, I mean, he only had 5 touches in the entire game, so
yeah,
considering one of them was a touchdown is like, thank you. But Cup almost didn't get a touchdown either. He almost dropped that touchdown pass. So
yeah. Well, I was just mad. I was like, bro, really? Like Matthew Stafford's gonna sneak the dang ball. You can't run it. Like I had another parlay that didn't hit, but that one had Sony Michel anytime touchdown. Bro, like whether it's Michelle or Akers, like give it to one of them. No one has Stafford rushing touchdown in their parlay.
Nope.
So it's funny though. I was thinking about taking a preset parlay of Kyler Murray 40 plus rushing yards, Matthew Stafford 10 plus rushing yards, and I was talking to a couple of my betting gurus on Twitter, and the one guy was going through Stafford's games this season, and he only had over 10 rushing yards like 3 times, I think, this year. He gets 22 yards. He outgained Murray by 16 yards in this game. Murray only had 6 rushing yards. So, but yeah, I was also mad. I live bet safety when the Rams got him pinned at the 1. And of course, Troy Reader, bro, tackle him. I don't understand. I don't know what Troy Reader was doing. He put an arm around him and then he pushed him. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And then, of course, the Rams get a freaking defensive touchdown off that. So.
Yeah, that was, that play alone showed the inexperience of Murray. Because in that situation, instead of just chucking it up, take the safety.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We'll have to see, this weekend. I forgot to put on Odell's stats, 1 of 1 for 40 yards. He threw a 40-yard bomb to Cam Akers down the sideline, which was a nice play there. And defensively, I want to go with David Long, but I'm going to go with Von Miller. He had a phenomenal game, 6 tackles, all of them solos, a sack, 3 tackles for loss, and a QB hit. He's finally paying off that 2nd and 3rd round picks that they sent.
In the most important time. Yeah. This is what they traded for him for, his Super Bowl caliber play right here.
Yeah, and even at the end of the season, he started to heat up in the Seahawks game and the Niners game. Rams covered -3. The stupid under 49 hit. I was so mad, dude. I was like, bro, the Cardinals had 2 chances at the end to go down and get points. Ugh. And then I was like, well, if the Cardinals are going to kick a field goal, and then I was mad because the Rams punted the ball when they were in field goal range on their last drive. And I was like, bro, like we kick the field goal here, Rams, and then you kick the ball off and the Cardinals go down, score a touchdown. We got it. Of course they didn't. Punted the ball. All right. So NCAA news, got a couple things here. Hawaii is looking for a new head coach. Todd Graham resigned amid a bunch of speculation. The players were very unhappy with how he was treating them. I forget. There were some other things said that I read in a little article, but I can't remember. But yeah, Hawaii. I might, try to apply for that one, maybe. And also,
I don't think it's a bad job though. I think that there's a lot to be desired with that job.
Yeah, I think there was also a thing that he said about that the athletic department isn't, putting enough money into the program or whatever. And then there was a question of whether Hawaii could afford to let him go because of severance pay, but they issued a statement that said they owe nothing to him. So, But yeah, it's definitely one of those places where it's like you have to ingrain yourself into the culture, the Hawaiian culture, and everything. So, other two things, Georgia news here. It's kind of like Super Bowl, man. Whenever a team wins Super Bowl, teams go and vulture all their free agents. It's kind of the same thing, except transfer portal, you have an option of transferring and whatnot. So two more guys, I should say. There were a couple guys already that transferred from Georgia, but two more guys entered the portal. One expected, one not. The expected one, quarterback JT Daniels, he is on the move. He has one more season, I believe, of eligibility. So he is on the move as a grad transfer. And then, at least this to me was unexpected, wide receiver Jermaine Burton also entering the transfer portal, had a big game in the Orange Bowl, I believe, and then obviously won the national championship with the Dogs. And then interesting news as well with Georgia quarterback Stetson Bennett. He is returning for his final year of eligibility. Again, I'm waiting. We gotta wait a long time to see. Not really that long. We'll have spring football here, spring games coming up in a couple months, but we'll have to see how they work it. If they're gonna keep Stetson as a starter, I mean, I think there would be a riot now in Athens if he wasn't the starter. So,
I mean, clearly Daniels thought that he was going to be the starter. So,
yeah, and I think I don't know. JT is an interesting, a weird situation because a lot of the quarterback spots have been filled with the transfers. So I don't even know what's open and what's not. I mean, some guys do go some places where there's an open competition, even if another quarterback already transferred there. We saw that last year where for Tennessee, Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker both transferred in, and Milton started. Hooker took over at the end. So, okay, NFL news. Big news, some firings here. Starting off with the biggest one, the Raiders. There were rumors about this when we talked about it on Monday. Mike Mayock officially out in Vegas. They are now searching for a GM as well as a head coach. Not sure what the future is for Mayock now, if he's going to go back into broadcasting or not.
I don't know. I still don't really understand the move because the Raiders, I mean, despite everything, they still made the playoffs. They still had a winning record. So I don't know. I don't really like the move, but
yeah, I would have liked to see him with a different coach, and because I don't think he had the power that most GMs have. I think John Gruden influenced a lot of the personnel decisions. But yeah, it was just the biggest issue was the last couple of drafts, high picks not panning out. We had Damon Arnett, Henry Ruggs, both off the team. Alex Leatherwood, who people thought was going to be available in the second and possibly third rounds, going in the first round. And now he's not even a tackle anymore. He's a guard. And he's still struggling at guard, too. So I think that was the biggest issue. Seahawks, they are looking for a new defensive coordinator, firing Ken Norton Jr. with Pete Carroll for many a season, and now finally looking for another new DC. I don't know though. I thought the Seahawks defense played pretty well late in the season.
Yeah, they definitely performed better than most expected, but they still weren't one of the best though. Like, I mean, I guess it's kind of unfair to compare them to what they used to be, but they were nowhere near the Legion of Boom that they used to be.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's another one that I don't think John Schneider has hit on many defensive
Mm-hmm.
anyways. Obviously he hit on DK and he hit on Chris Carson.
I don't know if you could really say he hit on Chris Carson. Carson's hurt all the time.
Well, he's hurt, but he's produced when he's in there.
Mm.
Looks like he's finally gotten Rashad Penny to be productive. But yeah, I can't think of many defensive players that he's drafted. Shaq Griffin's gone. He's in Jacksonville. Jordan Brooks is one that has been really good in his second year after being first rounder in 2020. So yeah, I don't know. All right, head coach interviews, couple additions to some teams this week. The Bears, they are looking at Bucks offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich and Saints defensive coordinator Dennis Allen. That's his first interview scheduled. I like Dennis Allen. I don't like Byron Leftwich for Chicago.
No.
I don't know. I don't know if any of the teams that are available. I'm not sure if one fits right with Byron Leftwich this year. Yet.
I saw one of the NFL accounts on Facebook made a post about like their predictions for the coaching positions, and they had Leftwich going to Jacksonville, which I didn't like at all. But
well, that would be a welcome addition for Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Former Jag himself. So that was the good old days. MJD had what was the wide receiver?
I'm blanking on his name too.
Yeah.
But
I have an older wide receiver in their first couple years, Jimmy Smith in my head. I can't think of the ones that Leftwich was playing with in the 2000s. For the Vikings, they are interviewing Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris. He's finally on an interview list there. Dolphins, they added two more. 49ers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel and Rams running backs / assistant head coach Thomas Brown as well. The Giants, they're looking at Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn and former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores. We'll get into, I'll talk a little bit about Flores in a second, more with the Giants anyways. But he's from Brooklyn, Flores is, so that would be a homecoming for him. And then the Texans, for the second straight year, they are interviewing former quarterback Josh McCown for their head coaching position. So I know Peter Strager has been talking about this a little bit, and we haven't seen it yet in the NFL, but the NBA has done it a couple times where it's former player right to a head coaching job with no former coaching experience.
See, I feel like McCown may eventually be a good head coach, but I don't see him being a good head coach right now. I definitely think he should take the route that he's kind of been taking with like the pseudo quarterbacks coach kind of role right now, possibly become an official quarterbacks coach or even like assistant offensive coordinator or something, like make up a role for him. I don't know, but I don't think a head coach right now would be a good job for him.
Yeah, I know he coaches high school right now, I believe in Texas where he's living. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see just to see how it works. I mean, and the Texans are so bad anyways. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Wait, I found the post that I was talking about here. So yeah, Leftwich to Jacksonville, Doug Peterson to the Vikings, Brian Daboll to Chicago, Eric Bieniemy to the Dolphins, Jonathan Gannon to Houston, Dan Quinn to Denver, Brian Flores to the Giants, and Jim Harbaugh coming back to the NFL to go to the Raiders.
A couple of them, I think, are okay.
Yeah, some of
Jonathan,
them were a little out there, but others, yeah. I mean, you just mentioned Flores with the Giants. I think
yeah,
that's a great fit there.
and Jonathan Gannon to the Texans, I think, would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I know Dan Quinn's the favorite in Denver, but Eric Bieniemy, I think, would be perfect. Went to Colorado. He's from Colorado.
That'd be kind of interesting too to see him go to a division rival.
Yeah. All right. For the Seahawks defensive coordinator position, they interviewed Cowboys defensive pass game coordinator and secondary coach Joe Witt Jr., which is interesting in its own right because if Dan Quinn would get a job, Joe Witt would be the guy that would be the in-house candidate to replace Dan Quinn as defensive coordinator. So not sure how that's going to pan out, but we'll have to see. And then GM interviews, the Raiders, the only one I have a couple people added. A lot of the GM spots, they are a lot of teams are getting into their second interviews and getting their couple finalists together. So it's moving toward we'll have most of the GM spots filled probably within the next 2 weeks. But the Raiders, they are looking at Bears assistant director of player personnel, Champ Kelly, and then Bengals scout Trey Brown as well. And we did have the first GM position filled this off season. The Giants, they hired Bills assistant GM Joe Shane as their new general manager in New York.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's a solid hire considering what team he's coming from, but I don't know how much he actually had to do with the current state of the Bills, though.
Oh, I'm sure he had. I mean, he was assistant GM, so he was right there, right beside Brandon Beane, building that team together.
Yeah.
It puts it into play though that Brian Daboll would be the guy you would think that the Giants would want to go get.
Yeah.
I do think they do need to go offense to attempt to fix Daniel Jones. So I don't know.
Well, if I were the new regime, I might try to hit the reset button. I wouldn't even bother trying to fix Daniel Jones.
Yeah. I mean, I would too, but they got 2 top 10 picks in a not very good quarterback class.
Yeah. Maybe trade one of them for a pick next year.
Or at least not top of the first round quarterback heavy. And then the Panthers, they finally have a new offensive coordinator. It is former Giants head coach Ben McAdoo. Really, really good as an offensive coordinator. He put up top 10 offenses with the Packers and the Giants. Was the last Giants head coach to bring them to the playoffs in 2016. So,
yeah, I mean, the Giants thing I can give him credit for, but I don't know if I can really give him credit for the Packers' success. Because, I mean, we've obviously seen what Aaron Rodgers has done his entire career, even after him. So, I mean, I don't know.
You can say that about anyone that any legendary quarterback has played for. You know, Josh McDaniels. He had Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Now look at the Patriots offense.
Yeah, exactly. But
I mean, all the offensive coordinators that Peyton played for.
yeah, I mean, well, yeah, Adam Gase is one of them. But yeah, I mean, you're obviously a Panthers fan, so your opinion on this probably matters a little bit more than mine. But I didn't really like the hire.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know who I was expecting. Out of the people that they interviewed, I didn't think that many of them were that great. I would have liked to see them try. I mean, I think that's why they went with Ben McAdoo. They went with a older, more experienced guy versus they didn't. It didn't work out with Joe Brady, who's a younger guy, not much NFL experience. But I would have liked to see probably go get Packers quarterbacks coach Luke Getsy, and see what he could do. But they went with a former Packer instead, and Ben McAdoo. So I think it all hinges on the quarterback, like every conversation that I've had about the Panthers. So, all right, people getting activated off IR. Big names coming back this weekend. Biggest one, Titans running back Derrick Henry. He got activated off IR today. He's going to play tomorrow and start. Not sure what the expected load is for him, but
I mean, is he 100%? Like, I haven't really heard anything about that. Obviously, he's good enough to play, but
yeah, I don't know. I think that bye week really helped him. So I think he's as close to 100 as he can get at this point.
I mean, they've obviously been winning without him, but I think he's going to still get a significant amount of touches.
Well, I hope he does. I have him in my NFL.com fantasy playoff challenge. So, and I started him last week, so he got me 0 last week, double points this week. So
the only way he doesn't get a lot of touches is if the Bengals go up big early and then they have to play catch up.
True. He's shown in the last couple of years that he can receive the ball as well. So, just an update, NCAA nugget here. Running back, Oregon running back Travis Dye is transferring to USC. So, big get for Lincoln Riley. Also getting activated off IR. Packers getting healthy here. They activated pass rushers Zadarius Smith and Whitney Merciless and wide receiver Randall Cobb off of IR. So Aaron has his best friend back on the field for tomorrow night.
A big upgrade for them there.
Yeah, I think the pass rush thing is crazy. Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith, Whitney Merciless, and Rashawn Gary. They'll have their top 4 guys out there. But against one of the best left tackles in the NFL in Trent Williams. So I believe if he's playing. I know he didn't play last week, I think. I don't remember. Injuries for the playoffs here. Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson. He cleared concussion protocol. He is good to go tomorrow. Same can be said with Niners defensive end Nick Bosa, also out of concussion protocol. Will play as well.
Whatever happened with Fred Warner? Is he good to go after that ankle injury that he?
I have not heard anything. I have not seen any reports on Warner. Probably won't know until tomorrow, I would think. Game time decision possibly. I'm sure if I went on the Niners Twitter, they probably have their injury report out, but
Yeah.
just did not take a look at it. The Chiefs linebacker Willie Gay Jr. He is going to play this week, and then guys that are out. So big ones for the Rams: left tackle Andrew Whitworth and safety Taylor Rapp both out this week. Taylor Rapp missing his second straight game there. Eric Weddle again will play, and not sure who the left tackle will be for LA, but that's going to be tough against Shaq Barrett, JPP, and Joe Tryon Shoyinka there as well. So, and then for the Bucks, their opponent, running back Ronald Jones and wide receiver Brashad Perriman, they are both out this week. The Bucks have until tomorrow to activate running back Leonard Fournette off of IR, so he can play on Sunday. I'm hoping that he does. I mean, Keyshawn Vaughn did look very good last week, and so did Gio Bernard. So let's see.
Yeah, but Leonard Fournette is still Leonard Fournette, though. He's better than both of them.
Playoff Lenny for sure.
Mm-hmm.
His last 6 playoff games, if you look at his stats, are just ridiculous. And a couple transactional stuff here. The Packers, they waived former 5th-round pick defensive lineman Kiki Kingsley. He was claimed off waivers by the Houston Texans. So, and all waiver claims for teams not in the playoff get deferred until after the Super Bowl. So the Chiefs made a interesting move here. They signed former Raiders 1st-round pick corner Damon Arnett to a reserve futures contract there. So he will be on the squad for 2022 OTAs, minicamp, and if he makes it to training camp.
Wouldn't that be something?
You never know with those reserve futures contract how long guys gonna be on the team. So
yeah.
Yes, Mark bought me my Georgia hat. Let's go. They don't ship them. They're not available to ship. I don't understand.
That's annoying.
Yeah, like you can only buy them in stores in the Georgia area, whatever. But anyways, that's the rest of the NFL news here. I know you missed this last Friday, Chris, so I left all the final standings on here for you. Final college standings. You steamrolled Mark and I, Chris.
Yep.
To a 325, 131 record. And that is a give me a sec. That is to the tune of 71.3%.
Pretty solid.
Yeah. That's a that's like going 12-5 this year.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, because I don't think, yeah, it's closer to 12 than 13 wins. So could have had a bye in the AFC playoffs. But yeah, Mark finished second. I was very, very dead last. All right, NFL pick standings. Mark and I both 4-1 last week. Chris 3-2. You're starting to slip a little, Chris.
That's all right. I'm the college champion. So at least I'm one champion this year. I could be the bottom of the barrel for the NFL this year.
It's up to 8 games now that you're back from me. I'm still one ahead of Mark. You lost your only lone wolf last week, the Patriots, over the Bills, and Mark.
That's what I get for betting on the Patriots. I should have known better.
And Mark split his lone wolves, thankfully for me. He had the Niners, who beat the Cowboys, and he also had the Steelers, who lost to the Chiefs. So I am 1 up on Mark, and like I said, 8 up on Chris.
Yeah, there's no. I think I'm already solidified in last, so doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, there's only 7 games left.
So I mean, I could catch Mark, but I can't get first.
But you got the opposite of everything Mark does, and
that's not happening.
As you know, y'all don't see each other's picks, so. All right, first game up on divisional weekend here. Bengals at the Titans. Titans getting 3.5. Mark is lone wolf in the baby Bengals.
I mean, this is probably the toughest game to pick, I think, for me.
I don't think it is.
I just because the Bengals have such a high-powered offense that if they can get out in front, I think it'll be tough for the Titans to come back from it. But on the flip side, the reason I picked the Titans is because of the return of Derrick Henry. I think they're going to get up early. He's going to just steamroll and do what he does and run them to the AFC Championship.
I agree. I think the same. Derrick Henry's big reason why I'm picking the Titans, but also it's in Nashville. They are going to be rocking. They have not seen this type of late kind of playoff game, I would think, since the Super Bowl year. I can't remember the Titans being to the AFC Championship game in recent memory. So
I don't remember the last time, if ever, they were the number 1 seed. So
yeah, the last time was I believe, 1985 or something like that. Warren Moon and the Houston Oilers.
So yeah, they've never been the number 1 seed as the Titans. But yeah, the playoffs are running through Nashville. It's going to happen again next week because the Titans are winning this week. So yeah, that stadium down there is going to be rocking, like you said.
Yeah, and I think that it's going to be tough. The Titans are going to have to do ball possession like they have been with their in the past. I don't think their defense can necessarily hold up against Joe Burrow and the Bengals passing attack. So it'll be close. But I took the Titans -3. I like them -3 there. I could do -3.5 too if you want, but
I don't know. I think that the Bengals will cover the 3.5. I think that they can get within a field goal. So I think that -3 pushes, but
yeah. Oh, I mean, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. A push is not a loss. So all right. The over-under is 47.5 here. And I don't know.
It's tough. I think it really depends on the pace of the game because it depends on how much the Titans actually run the ball and stuff. And I mean, I think it can get above it, but
I'd probably go under.
Wait, what is it? 47?
47.5, yeah.
So, I mean, 27-24 would get over, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 51.
So, I mean, if that I think that's what the score was going to be, something like that. So that would be over for me.
4:30 on CBS tomorrow. Tomorrow night, this is the game that I think is the hardest to pick. There are a lot of people, and not just because I'm in Milwaukee, but on Twitter and social media in general, there are a lot of people that do not believe a single shred that the Niners have any sort of chance in this game. It's going to be freezing. It's going to be like 2 degrees. But I'm saying no. I'm saying this is the first time I've taken a side on this game all week. And I think the 49ers can go into Green Bay and beat them. They've done it before, and they're going to do it again. The Packers have an issue with the Niners in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Packers beat them in the regular season in San Francisco, but that was on a miracle throw from Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams and then set him up in field goal range.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the 49ers in the NFC Championship game because of all the stuff you just said. Like, the history with Rodgers versus the 49ers in the playoffs isn't that great. Has he ever beat them in the playoffs? I don't think so, right?
No, I
I
think
think he's like 0-3 or something like that.
He's 0-2.
0-2. Oh. Well,
0-3. No, yeah, he is 0-3. Yeah.
So he hasn't beat them in the playoffs, but I don't know. It's just something about this Packers team feels different than past years for me. Like, I obviously preseason picked them for my Super Bowl pick in the NFC. They proved me right so far, getting to the number 1 seed, and I don't know. I just don't see anybody stopping Rodgers getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's part of it. Not a big Rodgers fan right now. But also, I had this conversation with some other people this week, and they were questioning how close to 100% is Jimmy Garoppolo with his thumb injury. And I said, I don't think it matters. If Garoppolo can't finish this game, I think that doesn't matter at all. Because what Kyle Shanahan can do with Trey Lance is look into history.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to Jim Harbaugh 49ers, 2014 playoffs, 2015 playoffs. They play the Packers twice, once in Green Bay and once in San Francisco. The game in San Francisco, Colin Kaepernick ran for 181 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
In Green Bay, he ran for 98 yards and a touchdown. So I think that's exactly what they would have to do if Trey Lance comes into this game. They are not going to make him throw the ball a bunch. They're going to lean on their running game, Elijah Mitchell and Deebo Samuel, and add in Trey Lance to the running game. They might even do that just in a package itself. Like they haven't done recently. But, when it gets cold, the ball gets slippery. So if Jimmy's hand grip or grip strength isn't 100%, we'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
Over under here is 47. I took the under early in the week. It was 47.5 that I got it at. So I like the under.
Mm-hmm.
8:15 on Fox. And before we talk about the Sunday games, a shocking update here from the Ravens. The Ravens and defensive coordinator Wink Martindale are parting ways. has been the DC since 2012. Or no, he's been the DC for the last 4 years. But he's been with the team, major contributions to the defense since 2012.
Now that I think is one of the better job openings in the entire league right now.
Yeah, I don't know. The Ravens got a lot of work to do on the defensive side of the ball. Trying to rebuild that, because especially their defensive line, they got to rebuild the D line again, because Calais Campbell is a free agent, I believe. Derek Wolf's 32 years old. All three of their front three are over 30. So
I don't think it'll ever happen, but I think it would be insane if they brought back Baltimore Ravens great Ray Lewis to do that job, to be the DC there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's interested in coaching.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it'll ever happen, but I think he's the type of person though that would be great for that, because you've seen him, how he can motivate people, how he did all those years while he was playing, and he definitely made people around him better. So I think he would be a great candidate as a coach. But yeah, like you said, it's all up to if he actually wants to or not.
I think he's pretty cushy, and the couple of media spots that he gets every once in a while.
Yeah.
All right, Sunday's games here. Starting off, Rams at the Bucks. Yeah, dude, we got a bunch of we got one lone wolf per game here. You are lone wolfing the LA Rams in Tampa Bay against 7-time Super Bowl champ Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, I would really not be surprised if I get this one wrong. But again, anytime you talk about Tom Brady and his and the adversity against him, he seems to overcome it all the time. But there's a lot of signs pointing against them right now. Obviously, they already played it earlier this year. I know it was early in the season, but the Rams still beat them. There's been a ton of injuries and other turmoil with the Buccaneers right now. Obviously, losing Antonio Brown towards the end of the season there. And you mentioned their injury concerns right now with Perriman and Jones being out, and the question mark of Leonard Fournette, whether or not he plays. If he plays, I do think my needle kind of shifts a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. This Rams team, obviously they are all in for this year. And I think that they go to Green Bay next week.
I don't think the Rams are going to get one step away from being the second straight team to go to a Super Bowl in their home stadium. First off, Tom Brady's 15-2 in his career in the divisional round. So that is the first hurdle that the Rams would have to clear. And second, I don't think it matters. You know, people were telling me about the worry of having the injuries to center Ryan Jensen and right tackle Tristan Wirfs as well. I just don't think it matters. Tom Brady knows. And again, I think the fact that the Rams beat the Bucks already this season, that is even more in favor of Tom Brady. You don't beat Tom Brady twice in a season. That's unless you're the Saints. but you don't do that. I mean, so it's very tough. And I think Tom Brady can make everything else better for the offense, no matter the injuries, no matter who is playing. Because That's fine. You're gonna put Jalen Ramsey on Mike Evans all day. Okay, cool. We got Gronk. You know, we got the other wide receivers. I can't name now. But they're gonna do a lot of 2 tight end, 3 tight end sets like they have been doing to counteract the lack of talent at the wide receiver position. Running out Cam Brate and OJ Howard a lot with Gronk. So I think that's what they're going to do. And I don't think the Rams have the linebackers to cover the tight ends for the Bucks. And on the flip side, like I said, I think the Andrew Whitworth injury is massive. Shaq Barrett should have a day on defense for the Bucks. And Stafford was cushy, was nice and comfortable at home last week, but now he's got to go down to Raymond James, and not very sure he will be able to perform on the road in the playoffs.
I definitely think that this game probably will be the best of the weekend, though.
I think the last one probably will be. This one's definitely gonna be good. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch Tom Brady. I don't think I've ever said that in my life, but yeah, I am excited to watch Tom Brady and him win. So Bucks favored by 2.5. Over under is 48 for this game. And I want to say over. I really do. I want to say there's going to be offensive fireworks. But I think the defenses are too good. So under. Under 7 touchdowns. 3 p.m. on NBC. The last game of divisional weekend here. Like I said, I think this is going to be the best one. Bills at the Chiefs, and Chris is lone wolfing the Chiefs. I know why.
I mean, I got a few reasons why. But I mean, yeah, I got to stay true to my preseason pick. Chiefs go to the Super Bowl, lose to the Packers. So that's one of the reasons why. But the Bills have yet to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. They've had a couple chances now, and they just can't seem to do it. So until they prove to me that they can, I'm not going to pick them in this situation.
This is the year for Buffalo. This is it. This is the year that the Buffalo Bills get back to the Super Bowl, and I've been saying it all season. Had some struggles, but they're coming off a massive, massive game against the division rival. They're going to be up for this game. It's not going to be a letdown, and they have the best defense in the National Football League. So that will cause problems. They beat the Chiefs, I believe, in the regular season. Yes, they did. So I think they will go back to a little bit of that blueprint. They're going to have to look at what the Chiefs did last week with Jerick McKinnon. I did hear that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is questionable, and I think he's going to play. So that might limit the Jerick McKinnon factor. But
yeah, I don't know if him playing is a good or bad thing for the Chiefs.
I just think this is it for Buffalo. They have to, David beats Goliath every once in a while, so this is it.
Yeah. No, but even though I have the Chiefs going all the way to the Super Bowl, though, I kind of hope that the winner of the other AFC game gets to the Super Bowl, which I know probably won't happen. I think the winner of this game gets to the Super Bowl, but I would love to see one of the other two teams make it to the Super Bowl, because those are the two teams that the Jets beat that are in the playoffs. So I would love to see the Super Bowl champion be a team that the Jets beat.
Yep. Love the Bills. Love the Bills. 1.5 for the Chiefs here. Over under is the by far biggest of the weekend. 54.
So 8 touchdowns.
No chance. I think Sunday is going to be all about defense. Sunday is going to be all about defense. Like I said, the Bills have the best defense in the NFL. And Steve Spagnuolo has gotten the Chiefs defense playing very well right now, too.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to be enough to win for Kansas City, but
we'll see.
Dude, they're rolling all cylinders right now, the Bills offense is. Devin Singletary's got the ground game rolling. And Dawson Knox is just scoring touchdowns like crazy. So,
hey, the Chiefs are just as hot.
Yeah. I guess so.
They've gone, what, like 10-1 in the last 11 games?
Who have they played?
I mean, I don't know. I can't even think of what their schedule was off the top of my head.
Well, the last game I remember them struggling was week 18, playing the Broncos, who is a very good defensive team as well. And can run the ball. They ran the ball very well with Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon.
I think that's a very big key to this game, too.
If
the Bills can run the ball with Singletary, then I think that they have a shot at winning this game.
And Josh Allen. Josh Allen had 66 rushing yards last week. All right, 6:30 on CBS. Best bets of the week. All right, so I went 1 and 2 last week. Both Pennsylvania teams let me down. I did get the Bengals right, -5.5 against the Raiders, but yeah, Eagles +8.5 at the Bucks and Steelers +12.5 at the Chiefs. Both went down in flames. I was debating on whether I wanted to put 3 out of the 4 games on here or just pick 2. But I like all 3 of these. The Niners one I'm not as sure about. 5.5 is a weird spread. But, Titans -3.5 against the Bengals. Niners +5.5 at the Packers. And Bucks -2.5 against the Rams is my most confident bet this weekend.
Wait, but you have the Niners winning the game, so wouldn't the 5.5 not matter?
It wouldn't, yeah. But I'm saying it's just the way if they do lose the game, which is a possibility. 5.5 is an awkward spread.
It is.
Okay. And like I said, because you weren't here last Friday, here are our final NFL lock standings. I won because you and Mark went the same way the last week of the season, and I didn't. So
that's all right.
Lost by 1. I think I went with. I don't even remember who I went with week 18. I know y'all went with the Cardinals. Who lost to the Seahawks?
Mm-hmm.
I think my lock for week 18 was Washington. I put Washington in there because they were only a 7-point spread. I don't know how they were only 7 against the Giants, but it fit under our 10-point limit. So, All right, and then the final dog standings. Mark, he wins something, anyways. He hasn't won the NFL standings, which he's a game back in. Obviously, you won the college standings. I won the lock standings. I'm in the lead in the NFL standings, and so Mark gets something, anyways. He won the dog. I believe he's now a 2-time back-to-back dogs champion.
I believe so. He knows how to pick the dogs. I'll give him that.
Yeah. So 23 and 15. Chris, luckily for you, you ended right at 500. And I believe this is similar to how it ended last year too. I was far below 500. I did go 2-0 in the last week of the season, though. I picked the Steelers. So Got that one right anyways to get it a little bit more respectable. I think y'all went with the Bengals and they lost, but they covered
Yeah.
because that was like a +6, I think it was. They lost by 5 to the Browns. Okay, next Friday, we'll be back. Conference championship weekend. We will have 4 teams left in the running. My Super Bowl prediction will still be alive. Chris's will not. And this is the 70th episode of Football Friday Show, and it is also a very, very special episode because today is my sister's birthday. So happy birthday, Heather! I'm gonna call her after this. So she's 29.
1 year closer to 30.
I know. I told her she's 1 year away from officially being old. That is the show for today. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Chris has got to get his Instagram game back up here.
Yeah, I know.
And,
I've been screenshotting during the show. I'm gonna post all the standings and stuff after.
And also you can follow us here on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Thank you, Chris, and we will see you back on Monday.